Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Between the Studs. I'm your host Mark. Today I'm joined by Alex.
Hey everyone.
And Ethan.
What's up?
And these are two of the smartest, most knowledgeable Star Wars fans that I know. But we're also here for a very unusual reason. We're here to really just let it all out, have a therapeutic gripe session about everything and all the things Lego Star Wars that bother us to no end. And Lego Star Wars, let's get this out first, is really a very good Lego theme. It's one of the best Lego themes.
Amazing.
We all like collecting it. We all, enjoy it. We all talk about it. We are excited about the new products released seemingly every week. But there's many things throughout the years, and also some increasingly annoying things that have happened, and we really want to share them and talk about them. And maybe you guys will kind of, understand this and you'll sympathize a little bit. Comment if you have any things that are bothering you, or if you agree with any of our opinions, or if you disagree. If you want to flame us in the comments, that's what it's for. But please be nice. We have sensitive feelings too. But no, except for Ethan. He's cold, hard, totally fine. Anyway, but we have a bunch of facts gathered up, and we made sure that we don't have too many overlapping. That we can talk about and share amongst ourselves. And we've chatted a little bit prior to this, and we're pretty much in agreement on all of them. There might be a few things we kind of I don't fully agree, but we'll talk about all of that. It's a very laid-back, casual discussion. I'll go first. And one of the things that used to absolutely bother the crap out of me is that there weren't enough clone troopers, and they were all super expensive. Kids couldn't buy them. But recently, Lego's done better at that with a couple of clone trooper battle packs. So I can't quite use that old argument. But I think there's one thing that still is kind of in that same vein and still definitely applies, is that specific Jedi characters and figures aren't available at all. They are at Atlanta Brick Co. for $100 or more,
and just getting more expensive by the day.
If you want one that's not broken because it's 15 years old, then you're going to be paying a lot of money for it. And that's like a kid that wants to get, Kit Fisto, Plo Koon, Coleman Trevor, any of those really cool Jedi characters, they're like, $50 to $100.
Shakti.
If a figure's over $20, it's kind of overpriced to me. I'm that kind of mindset. And so if you have like a really important Star Wars character that's not one of the main three, Anakin, Obi-Wan, or Ahsoka, then it's going to be super expensive. So that really bothers me on a deep, fundamental, psychological level. But what do you guys think?
Just let it out, Mark.
Yeah, I know. It irritates me because I can't access them, kids can't access them, everyone's paying too much for them. If we had a new set with a nice new version, I'd be very happy. What do you guys think? Alex, does this lack of Jedi characters bother you?
Oh, absolutely. It just makes me want to hit the table a few times. It's like, please, Lego.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, we really want to bring a lot of this to light. And I know a lot of the Lego, Star Wars community talks about this so that Lego hears it and that they can hear that feedback and continue to...
they're working
to
on
hear
it.
that and
they're
do something
trying,
about
sort
it.
of. So.
But it takes, several years for them where they are in the process. I've heard maybe like 2 years from start to finish on
decisions
product.
To results. Yeah.
So we kind of have to get out those things sooner rather than later.
Exactly.
But episode 3, the anniversary is coming out next year. So hopefully we see more Jedi. I know Ethan and I have talked about, we'd love to see dioramas like a Jedi Council one. A lot of the Jedi Masters in there.
Palpatine's arrest. Just repeat that set modern day.
Yeah. It'd be cool to see like newer molds, like Kit Fisto, Plo Koon. The way they made it back in the day, it was, cutting edge, brand new, super exciting back in 2008. But, since then, the print wears off the
rubber pieces don't last forever,
So it'd be nice to see... better molds and that where it's printed on. It's not that rubber, but maybe plastic instead.
Oh, yes.
So it'd be nice to see. It's hard to believe that they don't come out with some of these figures more often. I wish Star Wars would do like a minifigure series. That would be really helpful for them to fill in the gaps, but make it cheap and affordable and available to everyone. It's just something that they just refuse to do. And I think would, solve issues just like this.
For lack of Jedi, lack of characters.
Because there's a whole dilemma out there, too, about battle packs of, like, those are army builders. They always have been. So when we get ones like the Bounty Hunter one a few years ago, had named characters, it's like, well, we're probably only going to buy one. You're not going to really army build.
That is a problem.
Some of these, like Dengar necessary. Maybe Bosk, but, we see that issue with battle packs. So collectible minifigure series, I think that's the answer to this dilemma.
Something along those lines, maybe, yeah. So, Ethan, does the lack of Jedi bother you to the extent of me and Alex, you think?
I wouldn't say I don't think about it as much, but now that you've brought it up, I've seen a pattern where they really just remake the same Jedi over and over again.
Yep.
Like, especially Yoda, Ahsoka, and it's usually just the same costume as well. Like
Yeah,
Ahsoka, we've
so
gotten
similar.
The,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
season 7 outfit, like, a gazillion times.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we're really missing out on, like, Plo Koon and
Yeah.
Kit Fisto.
Those classic Jedi characters from
Yeah.
several movies, so, yeah.
Oh,
Even Yaddle. We still haven't even gotten a Yaddle
Cartoon.
yet.
Yeah, like,
So-
and I think Yariel Poof, there's other crazy
Yeah.
alien characters they could totally make. Oh,
Yeah.
man. I think there's a lot of missed opportunity there. So.
I did too.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Well, glad you see the potential of my problem here. Ethan. That's
Yeah.
good. So, Alex, do you have a specific thing that's really getting under your skin that you want to share with us?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think one of the things, kind of a newer one that's come about that drives me absolutely crazy is they just cut corners in ways, and we started to see this in 2020. You had the duel on Mustafar, Obi-Wan, Anakin, amazing set. But they also came out with General Grievous Starfighter, and they put the same Obi-Wan from the Mustafar into the General Grievous Starfighter with like the lava holes and stuff on his shirt, and it doesn't really fit in there for most of the. I mean, maybe at the end when they're fighting, he's got the blaster, and General Grievous is on fire.
Kinda.
Maybe, but
If you really bend it, yeah, but
it's
they
just,
really cut corners on that.
Same with like one of the like Interceptor. Then they put the Anakin from the Mustafar set into that. You could just see that they were trying to
Just
save
cheap,
some money.
yeah.
Yeah, or
There's a bit
clone
of a-
stamping everything.
cutting,
Yeah.
you know, a corner to save money, bigger profits. But we've seen that continue because you see like, what is it now? The new skiff that came out, $80 set, way overpriced, and we get the same Boba Fett from the mech in that set. Nothing different. Doesn't even have a cloth piece. This is supposed to be one that goes alongside the supposed, sail barge coming out.
The UCS size one, yeah.
So you would think it would be at that standard. But again, we've seen that with like the Venator, where like the Rex doesn't have like the comma that's cloth. So you see a lot of cutting of the corners. And the biggest gripe I have with this though is that these figures are inaccurate to the scene that they're in. They've always done really good in the past, especially in the 2010s. Like that Boba Fett in the skiff, that was
it's an episode 5 one.
Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. We need the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, which we've only got him once in the past skiff. So they've done it before. And that's what really makes me so upset.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They've done it correctly before, and then you mess it up, and it's like
cheap. Yeah, it's very disappointing.
That actually is super frustrating.
Very disappointing. Yeah,
it's like they're literally slipping. They're
just
tripping
to save money. But honestly, if they do things right, I think they're going to make more money that way. If they, please, fans across, like from adults all the way to the kids, like kids are smart. They know, hey, this is the Boba Fett. Like maybe it's just a Boba Fett to them,
real Star Wars fans.
But like, even kids that are real Star Wars fans,
casual
they know
Star
like
Wars
this is
fan
not the
would be
Boba Fett from the skiff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a real kicker, especially with an already kind of expensive set. You're already dealing with a high price per part ratio.
Yeah.
That's painful.
What are your thoughts,
Ethan? How do you feel about this overall kind of lack of consistency and detail with figures?
I'd agree. It's very annoying.
Does it bother you? Are you going to write angry emails to Lego about it?
It's annoying. It's not a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Because I did just buy the set.
You bought the skiff set?
Ethan.
On a big discount. I got like 30% off, so I was like, fine.
Okay.
Because I want all the 25th anniversary ones. But
that is a good deal.
But yeah, it shouldn't have been an episode 5 one. It was very disappointing. The rest of the set is great though.
Okay. That's good.
But yeah, very disappointing. Same with the Anakin and Obi-Wan. It's just yeah. And then as far as the cloth, it doesn't bother me as much as the inaccurate figures, but it's still kind of annoying. So.
Yeah, inaccuracies are a problem.
Yeah.
Fabric cloth. Is that on anyone's list of fabric pieces?
Later, some more.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. We'll save the discussion for a little bit later, but that's good. Ethan, is there anything specific on your list that was really just grinding your gears and getting your goat? My goat has been gotten.
I mean, I have a controversial one because it can go both ways. The downsized...
everybody get ready.
Yeah, the downsized
Get
Star
your comments
Wars
ready.
builds. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like the old Boba Fett Palace, or the new one I guess they just made a few years ago. It's so small compared to the old one they did a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And the tower is like, it's not even a tower, you know?
Yeah. So Jabba's palace.
Yeah. The Boba Fett Palace is terrible. The Jabba one is actually pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
Then they squished Boba Fett's starship down to a really compact tiny
That's
one.
Embarrassing. Yeah.
And then same with the Imperial shuttle from like the same year. But it's annoying because you're paying basically the same price as you did for the bigger size ones, but I guess it's easier to display on your shelf, so it's like, that's the argument point, I guess, but
I don't know.
It's still like, it's not that much cheaper than the full-size one, so it's really like, you kind of feel like you're getting gypped.
This is also like the Ghost as well, because the old Ghost's pretty big, the new Ghost is actually smaller. And the price is actually relatively the same, but it is smaller, and it's not quite figure scale anymore because it's too small.
The figure selection on that set is trash.
Now there is an interior on that Ghost, whereas the other one didn't really.
That one has an interior.
But
the fig selection is.
Yeah, it's. I do see what you're saying though, Ethan, because there is a miniaturization happening, and it's because Lego's part catalog in the past was very big. Like there'd be a lot of big slopes, and there would maybe even be some gaps here and there because it's got kind of just a bunch of big pieces to low part count.
Yeah.
Now they don't care if the part count is high because all the parts are a lot smaller. So it's probably about the same amount of pieces, even though the build itself is way smaller volume and just more intricate.
It's about the same price, if not more.
Relatively similar prices, maybe a little more because of inflation and all that. So I see what you're saying, and it does kind of bother me. At the same time, I don't collect as much Star Wars as you guys, and I like having small pieces to customize. So it doesn't bother me as much as I think it bothers you. But I see where you're coming from.
I think
I understand.
If they can downsize it and do it right, like. I actually think the Sith Infiltrator is smaller, but it does everything it needs to. Mm-hmm. The new gunship, the Coruscant Guard one, you can barely fit any troopers in that little thing. Yeah. And the door is inaccurate.
It's not a good miniaturization.
And there's just no features on it at all, which I think was just super lame. That's what that's what I'm talking about when they say like they really downscale it and then just leave it.
Smallest gunship,
Like the Sith Infiltrator is smaller, but it still has a bunch of cool features and stuff on it.
So you're a fan of that one as far as they did a good job making it smaller.
Yeah, because it still functions and everything, but I think the gunship was just kind of it fell a little flat.
That one, didn't land for me as well either. I was like expecting to need to buy it, and I haven't needed to buy it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I'll buy that one.
Even though I think it has some decent figures.
I did buy
Alex,
Fox,
So how do you feel about Lego's overall Star Wars vehicles in particular, getting a little bit smaller, more intricate, detailed, but also maybe a little more expensive? How does that play with you?
It's really interesting because I started getting Lego Star Wars in the early 2000s. And, I mean, you remember the Slave one from 1999, 2000. It was a really tiny scale one. Like a
That's
mini
true,
one,
the original. Yeah.
So there was a lot of that at the beginning of Lego Star Wars. So for me, it's just kind of a callback to the beginnings of Lego Star Wars. So I think it's pretty cool. I think it's much more affordable. Some of the Slave ones were getting at $100, $120.
That's true.
And it's like, woof, it's, a little harder for families to get if their kid wants the Slave one.
It's not an easy purchase.
So from that perspective, I really appreciate it from Lego. I think with this, Slave one, the newest one, the small one, they even had like a little cart thing. And a lot of those original Lego Star Wars, like the X-Wings, stuff, they would have little carts and stuff that had a little side build with the stuff.
Details.
So fun. Like I had endless hours of play with that. So I like that. Being an adult collector now, I like the larger scale things personally. It's not like a go-to for me, but for kids, I can totally see that. I can see why Lego's doing that. But I mean, I would prefer larger ones as well.
Gotcha.
But I do think they have been going less on the play features. When they scale down, or which is really unfortunate because that was one of the best parts of Lego Star Wars.
Less room for
People
characters,
love that,
cargo.
So it's sad they're not doing that as much as they do that. So I don't like that part of it. I'm very upset about that.
So multifaceted opinion there. I like that. Okay. It's interesting. Just to finish that conversation, they're like Lego Star Wars has been around for so long. It starts in the 90s and it goes for 24-ish years after the 90s. So it's like when you're comparing the original set to the modern set and the fact that they're similar size, like there was a peak there when the UCS, Slave One or Boba Fett Starship, that was huge. And now we've gone back down. It just, I don't know, like we're not going up. You know what I'm saying? That's just from a high level. There's a lot more to it than that. But that's one thought I had there.
I think the price also, besides that one Slave One, usually is the same.
Yeah.
As for the downscaled ships.
It hasn't been universally more affordable.
No.
Yeah, because some of the sets are a little expensive. Georgia's distracted. The second thing that really just bothers me down to my gizzard is mechs are stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and I'm not talking like the ATST or other walking, type of things. I'm talking like the Stormtrooper mech or the Darth Vader mech or the Boba Fett mech. Yeah. And now we've got the X-wing pilot mech. Luke, is it Luke or is it just X-wing pilot?
Yeah, just one came out this summer.
Why? Why did it really bothers me because here's the thing, like with the Marvel superheroes, you at least have a pretense that it's an action figure. They're kind of just playing around with that. Star Wars has no business doing that. Okay, I'm just like there's no valid reasons. Can you guys convince me of any valid reasons, or are you guys on the train of you hate the mechs? So.
There's no reason for them to exist. It has nothing to do necessarily with
comics, Star Wars, nothing.
I mean, there's like machines and stuff. Ships, but it's not like a mech that they're riding around in.
It's never been shown in
usually
Star
a
Wars.
walker.
Make a walker for the Stormtrooper to be on.
But no.
I think not only are they very stupid, they come with minifigures that everybody already has. It's not like it's coming with Commander Wolf or Plo Koon or really cool figures.
If we had Ayla Secura and her mech, I would buy it.
It would just be like a $10 mech. You get a cheap figure, but no. They give you a Darth Vader and a Stormtrooper and an X-Wing Luke, which everybody already has.
Yes, or Boba Fett. It's like, okay, I'd rather get the microfighter. I think that's a better excuse of making a figure.
Yeah, that made sense.
Because it's like a small ship. It's fun.
That's cute.
Star Wars.
And
Star Wars.
It's for kids. But then the mech, what the heck?
The mechs,
they're
useless. They don't include any cool figures that are unique.
Yeah.
And they look stupid.
That one raises my blood pressure. Yeah. And it wasn't the McDonald's ad.
No.
These things sell though. Like Lego's making money off them
because they're cheap. Everything else is
exactly.
so expensive.
And that's the worst part.
Like,
they're selling.
Parents that buy it for their kids. Like I'll go on Amazon and it says like how many have sold in the past month or something.
Oh, and it's thousands.
The best seller is always the Stormtrooper mech of all things. Like 6,000 plus sold. I'm like, what in the world?
And they're normal price. They're not on sale or anything, right?
Oh no,
that's probably for army building.
Could be, but $15 a figure, or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I wouldn't have such a grudge against them if they actually came with cool figures.
Yeah. So I do see what you're saying. If there was a really cool figure and they're just putting it in a kind of a stupid packaging, sure.
Why not? Like, just bulk the pieces.
There's a lot of Darth Vaders out there.
Yeah, everybody has a Darth Vader or multiple.
Yeah, he comes out so many sets nowadays too. So.
Anyway, I'm just discouraged after that. What do you got, Alex? What else can we talk about? That's gonna. This is not even the beginning. We're like 2 questions.
The largest, controversies right now in the Lego Star Wars community, and continues to be, is helmet holes. Helmet holes.
The dadgum helmet holes. Oh no.
Be quiet.
Even Jar Jar doesn't like them. I mean,
he won't shut up.
Stop hitting him. We'll keep talking. Don't.
Careful.
All right, he's an antique actually.
Right.
So helmet holes. Tell me about the helmet holes, Alex.
Oh my goodness! Don't get me started. And you have. So helmet holes are. Originally, so let's go back in time a little bit. To the Clone Wars Clone Troopers, 2008. First time we get helmet holes on the Clone Troopers, and they're amazing. It's a great addition. You can customize your Clone Trooper. Amazing idea. But these are Phase 1 Clone Troopers. And, fast forward a little bit for the Clone Wars Phase 2 and also Phase 2s in the 2010s. No helmet holes on these guys. None of them had it. Because really on the Star Wars Clone Trooper helmets, they're in different positions. So Phase 1, higher up. Phase 2, it's a little bit lower. And also, because it's a different helmet.
Different orientation.
Exactly. So, we finally get Clone Troopers again in 2020, which is amazing.
After several years,
as well. Clone Wars, Season 7. But then we finally get Commander Cody, which has been asked for, voted on for the UCS gunship, not delivered. But, about 2 years later, and it takes about 2 years, they heard us and they brought it out with that ATT. However, the difference is that with the 212 troopers, they added the helmet holes as well, but they didn't need them. They were, I'm thinking Lego Star Wars was thinking, let's let kids customize this, because you get extra parts for like the visor, the antenna.
Do they fit to the Mandalorian accessories too?
They do as well. Yeah. So those things have been in production ever since pretty much 2008.
Non-stop,
Exactly. So what Lego really needed to do, and this makes me upset, is because the helmet holes are on the Phase 2, like they made extra holes up above the actual holes.
Yeah.
So like if you don't have like usually helmet holes, even if you can see through it, whether it's Mandalorian helmet Phase 1.
Yeah, Mandalorian's
fine because that's where the helmet hole's supposed to be. So it's like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
However, with these, it's like it looks really.
Well, they've drilled a second one because they missed the first one, right?
Yes, literally. Because it's designed for the Mandalorian Phase 1 Clone Trooper helmets. Mm-hmm. It's not designed for the Phase 2. So you put those things on. Of course, it's not going to work down there. It's going to be too low. So it works, for the visors, it looks okay. But, if they just have an antenna or something, or they don't even
from
need
one
it,
side,
it doesn't look good at all. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people are not buying Clone Troopers because of that. They're not army building because of that. Some people, still are because it's nice to have cheap Clone Troopers. Mm-hmm. It's cool to have the different legions in the 2020 style. But I imagine that, what they really needed to do was to design a new helmet and a new molds for just the Phase 2 Clone Troopers.
Yeah.
New that's antennas. What they needed to do. Exactly. New visors, new antennas that would work for the accurate, spotting of the helmet holes. But they didn't do that. They took the cheap route, make more money, and so they didn't have to make new molds. Business side makes sense, but when you're trying to be accurate and you're trying to be the best, like Lego, it doesn't look good. I think it hurts their sales overall. They could be doing so much more.
It's created a controversy.
That too, within the community, and so it's just like we know Lego can do it too, and they just refuse to do it. So hopefully, when we get new Clone Troopers, at some point a new version, hopefully they correct that, fix it, and make new molding for the helmets and for the visors and things like that, antenna, because it would. Like the printing and stuff that they're doing now on the arms and stuff, it looks so good. And it's like they're so close to perfection on things.
They're hamstrung.
Yeah. It's just they're so close. So I wonder sometimes if they don't want to be perfect so that they can improve on something.
Maybe.
But honestly, I think it really comes down to making more money. But
yeah.
It's just so sad because it's Clone Troopers are one of the most valued collectibles, and especially in Lego Star Wars, especially army building, and so to see them miss the mark on that has definitely, made a lot of the community upset, angry. But we like to rant, so we'll always find something. But
well, this would bother me less if it was genuinely hard for them to make that little accessory pack of visors and antennas. Yeah. However, they do that pretty much like every other year for Ninjago. Like a different, just bundle of weapons that all come in that little pack. So how hard is it really to do that? Yeah. Probably not. Probably easier to just make a unique visor, and you can even add a few pistols in there or something. Just spruce it up a little bit. Then helmet holes look great, and the figure is now perfect instead of deeply flawed for the rest of the time you're using that mold. So a bad decision made there, I think, honestly. Even though I buy the clones with the helmet holes, and I still use them because my eyesight isn't that good. But no, I can see why it bothers people. So, Ethan, how do you feel about helmet holes?
I just like that their slogan is only the best is good enough. He ain't getting the best. I think it looks great on Commanders, honestly. Fox and even though that figure is really flawed in other places, Fox and Cody, I think they look fine because they have the visor. It looks right.
It does work.
They're supposed to have the visor.
Yeah, but as far as any other trooper, it looks terrible.
Yeah. Does it make you mad, Ethan?
Makes me not want to spend money.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's it.
They made Fires, who's basically my favorite clone. Who I think, because I like him so much, it doesn't bother me that much. But compared to a plain Phase 2 212, it looks awful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, 4, I used to think, because it came out in the ATT, the Coruscant gunship, you'd have a commander with the set that needed that. Then they would have the other regular infantry that would have the helmet holes, even though they really don't need them necessarily. That's why. However, I mean, when we got like the Clone Trooper Battle Pack versus Droids Battle Pack earlier this year, and none of them are necessarily supposed to have those.
No.
But they all had helmet holes, and it's like they're just.
It honestly
doing
makes them
that
look
now,
like
probably.
bootleg figures, like just fake.
Yeah.
Like or like off-brand, you know. They just look like other toys, like other helmet.
Well, numerically speaking, yes, the named commanders are more important, probably, than the regular troop. But there's going to be 3 or 4 of the troopers and 1 of the commanders, so probably better to make the commander kind of more special, and the troopers have a very easy uniform. You know,
I think it helps when the commanders have more detail too. Like Fives has like the neck thing, the backpack, the arm printing.
Yeah.
So it's less distracting on him. Plus he has the rangefinder. So, but like a regular like just P2 clone just looks terrible with those.
That's too bad, man.
Yeah,
that's awful.
Yeah.
Well,
it looks great otherwise. I mean,
exactly.
Again, nearly perfect. And I still buy the ones with helmet holes because I missed out there on a few years. And they got expensive. So, but it's just. It's so close, and it's just like we know you can do it. They go, you know, thanks for making Clone Troopers, but you know, please, you know, we are fans. You know, we look for the little things, and we want those things. So please.
When I think of helmet holes, I also think of M&R Productions and his
verbal
stance on that. But no, it's interesting. So I think we're all agreed that we'd rather the helmet holes were fixed. You know, wasn't the situation.
Or just save strictly for commanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a special helmet with holes in it. Yeah.
Or
something
just
like that.
make a correct mold.
Just
and, like,
do it right the first
visors.
time. Yeah. The visors redoing would have been easier than this whole debacle. So. Yeah. So that's your fact there, Alex. Ethan, what's the next thing you want to bring up?
This
ruin my day. Do it.
But I think Clone Wars sets, besides the Venator, have been pretty mediocre.
Okay. Yeah. So you think
maybe the ATTE gets a pass too, but like the gunship, some of the walkers they've made, like they're just so oversized or undersized. The figures just aren't accurate, which also doesn't help. But I feel like they're always super basic. Like, they just remade Yoda's spaceship that just came out, like, a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it looks the exact same. Like, it's hard to tell them apart. They've made Anakin's spaceship, like, a numerous amount of times. So, and then that's all they do. They don't do anything unique or crazy. Yeah. I think the Venator's the one exception.
Yeah, and then recently, like, maybe Jedi Bob Starfighter is kind of Clone Wars-ish, but barely. I mean, that's like its own thing, so...
Yeah, it has the gunship colors.
Yeah, so the things they've done have been either reductive or repetitive, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So.
Like, where's our turbo tank with Wolf and 104th and a real Republic gunship?
Where's another MTT?
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. We had the Phantom Menace anniversary this
one that's not going to shatter because of brittle ground. Yeah. So I should have wrote that down. Yeah, I can see what you're saying, Ethan.
Mediocre Clone Wars sets.
Yeah. They've at least been doing a few, but I don't even think it's enough either. So yeah. What do you think, Alex? Do you think most of the Clone Wars era sets have been a little bit lackluster?
Well, I might have some answers to this. So, you know, no MTT last year, or this year, when we probably should have got one.
Yeah.
No, you know, Federation tanks. I think it's Jar Jar's fault. You know, he gets them in battle. And,
what the heck?
He just did not like them.
Jar Jar stopped them from producing any more MTTs.
We're finally getting Dark Jar Jar this year, so
that is good.
I think, you know, there might be a connection.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness,
I did like the gift with purchase they did this year.
That was nice.
That's one of my favorites.
Well,
but it's just not an MTT.
Well, the problem is, I think that's a fantastic set if it was a normal retail set. Because right now it's like $60 because it was a gift with purchase for a limited time. If you bought,
so it's great for people who have it. Sucks for people who don't.
Yeah, so
it's getting really expensive.
I would love to get that for $30. Not twice.
I can't imagine the army building possibilities with that.
Yeah, so insane. Another thing that bothers me about Lego Star Wars.
It's crazy.
Anyway, I'm going to keep moving on. This is one that I think is. I've heard M&R talking about this. I feel like. And that is that when are we getting a new UCS Death Star or a playable Death Star? Because the last time we got a Death Star, besides the little gift with purchase,
it was almost 10 years
that's
ago.
cute, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about either the big one with the rooms, or the big one with the rooms with the panels on top, which has never existed.
That's what everybody wants.
That's what everyone wants.
Small interiors, but paneled.
Make it $400 or $500 if you have to. People will buy it. It's the new Millennium Falcon because like you see some
everybody wants a Death Star. It's so iconic, and they never make them.
So the last version of the Death Star with the slightly more updated figures, some of them are now out of date compared to some of the new figures that they're producing, but. The latest version of Death Star is like thousands of bucks.
Oh yeah,
it's for a sealed one.
I think it's like 15.
The
figures.
So
which is very unobtainable for just about everybody.
Yeah, unless you're like a really high end collector, that's not going to be in your purchasing power at all. So Lego could sell that for $400 or $500 and
make
a tremendous amount of money.
I feel like that is arguably more iconic than the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, at least on the same level.
I'd say, same level.
So, like, they could have the hottest Christmas gift of the year, but they just, aren't feeling it. So it's like, it's infuriating because it's making it impossible for Lego fans to have that experience that has only popped up once every couple years. We're actually now past due based on the first playset Millennium Falcon. When this Death Star, second Death Star, that span of time has now passed further since the last one. Yeah. So it's not like we just need another one soon. It's like we're now getting really far out. So that's my
with such an iconic location and
pulling my hair out.
It's surprising they haven't done a new one.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be exactly as huge as that. Even if it was like
I'd be fine with like
something along that scale. Yeah,
something that resembles it that's a good size.
Even like the top half or something. I don't know. Figure something out.
Something.
Yeah. They were talking about it was rumored a Death Star playset with Cal Kestis and other stuff, and it ended up being the Star Destroyer side
which
thing,
I like.
which is fine.
Yeah,
but
a Death Star would
I
be
was
cool.
got my hopes up, man. Even like a quarter playset would be cool. I don't know. Death Star
would be cool.
Death Star. What do you think, Alex? Death Star?
Well, you're the first person I've ever heard to call the Death Star cute.
Well, that one is like a tennis ball size.
I remember a time when there were just too many of those Death Stars. Like they came out with the second edition. It just seemed like because that first one was out for a long time.
It was
just on the shelves
they even
forever.
updated the figures in it.
And then it was gone, and then it popped back up really quick.
Yeah,
with the second one, but that one went away really fast.
Quicker,
which was surprising.
They phased it out.
And so now it's been too long. And I think we definitely need a new one, but we definitely need one of the Return of the Jedi, or even one where we have like the inside and you put panels on the outside, like put up the price a little bit, and that would be incredible. That would be the ideal, I think.
Yeah.
Death Star UCS is to have an inside and outside.
Yeah, and I think it would have to be big. I mean, it would have to be a couple $100 at least. Yeah. I'd rather see it, UCS size in that 500 plus range. But I think we're all agreed on that point. Yeah, depressing stuff.
It'd be really cool.
It makes us mad. It makes me mad. I'm furious. Oh well, Alex, what other fact is going to just absolutely send me into a tear today? What do you got?
Let's see. I think this is one I don't feel like it's talked about very often. Is the Master Builder sets. Okay. We're on number 2 officially. We had some. They used to be called UCS, but they're not really UCS. Like the Ewok Village, the Hoth battle.
Yes.
We had Cloud City, and then Mos Eisley Cantina, which is about to retire.
That's
finally.
A good one. Yeah.
Cool amazing set. I can understand why it's been on the shelf so long. We're definitely overdue on one. I've been really hoping for one, but the problem is that we've got rumors right now about another like indoor Ewok Village, and I'm upset about that because they're only focusing on original trilogies all these like years, even with the UCS ones. We need some prequel ones. Honestly, I thought we might even have gotten a like Star Killer base one back in the day around Force Awakens as a Master Builder set, which would have been incredible. But like Ethan and I were talking about it. We want to see like a Geonosian arena,
Jedi Temple.
Oh yeah, like Battle of Kashyyyk.
All those Jedi figures.
I'd honestly rather have the Geonosian arena more than the temple, but just because we could get so many figures.
Exactly.
Geonosians and stuff.
Over 20 usually, and so it's
Dooku, Jango Fett figures.
20 Jedi.
I know.
Yeah.
So good. So
it's very sad to see them just chugging along in the original trilogy train, which everybody loves the original trilogy, but it's like
they're amazing, but
you can only do it for so long. For
a little more variety would be good.
Too much of the original.
I agree.
Prequel, maybe even sequels.
That kind of ties into one of the comments I had later down the road. This is something suggested by one of our employees, Wyatt, but kind of more landscapes and more play sets and more kind of environments to have scenes in.
I would agree.
And that's totally like a Master Builder series.
That's where it would succeed. There's been a lot of backlash on, the Darth Vader battle from the Kenobi show. Even though
that was a poorly executed
Ahsoka Tano, Duel Peridea, there's been some backlash on that. I like that it's not a starship, but I can understand why people
doing the gray base plates with figures on it. It's like...
Well, what my problem is, and this kind of goes into Scarif set too with the price. Obviously, it seems like it's a fun build for Ethan, but they're putting a lot of mechanical stuff into the base. When I'd rather have more physical, aesthetic stuff happening. So,
for which build?
Like the Scarif. No, it's not Scarif. The Skiff, Desert Skiff.
Oh,
yeah. I casual.
There was a lot of mechanical stuff.
So you got like movements going on. You got, and then like with the duel, there's like movements going on. Don't just get rid of all that and make a cool scene, and save the pieces. So
because you're not going to be going up to your shelf every day going.
Yeah. I know this kid for kids.
Gonna, sit on the shelf and look nice. And honestly, I feel like this is such a side rant, but Lego is like. Honestly, it kind of feels like they're outpricing kids at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no kid has $80 to go to Target and spend on a desert skiff.
The average kid. Yeah. There's going to be a few.
So they're like, we're taking away waist capes because kids, and it's got to be, no kids buying the Venator.
Yeah,
playing with their Captain Rex going, dang, I wish this cape wasn't
here. Yeah.
And it's like, it's outpriced. It's outpricing all the kids, basically, almost.
Well, the age in the box is 16 and up. So, it's for the kids. Yeah, sure.
Maybe at one point it was. At this point, it's like, you're going broke if you're even an adult.
They understand their market.
Getting Lego. Yeah.
Which is good. That just sounds like excuses to me, Ethan. So. Hey, we didn't say this, but a Master Builder set of Gunga City would be pretty intense.
I would buy that day one.
You go elegant, like domes and stuff.
Who's the elder of the city, Boss Nash or something?
Yes,
Boss Nash, yeah.
Oh,
to have him and Lego.
20 Gungan characters.
Yeah.
See, I'd buy that. Yeah. That's a day one for me.
Put Darth Jar Jar again in there. You know. We were complaining about it, but Lego, if you do this and you put Darth Jar Jar the same mold in there, add a cape though.
If they do a giant Master Builder series Gunga City, I will take this video down. I will apologize publicly for saying anything bad about Star Wars, and we'll make it up to them. But
Morning alarm is off.
Okay, leave the alarm off. Stop pressing buttons. Stop pressing buttons. He's going to turn the alarm off.
It's going to explode.
You're going to set the bomb off. All right. Great.
Everybody down.
Great point there, Alex. Very, very bothersome fact about some Lego Star Wars sets. Ethan, what's the next one you got? We got a little more time to film if you want.
We do. I feel like we've already kind of gone over most of my list.
I've got a few more I can drop for you guys.
I would say maybe some of the awkward yellow eyes on some of the new Sith figures.
Yes.
Even some of the Jedi, like Ezra, the newest one, he just has blue eyes, and he's a human.
No pupils.
Yeah, no pupils.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they have a pupil. It's just like white or like a different color.
Yeah, they're just not... They're just like blue circles or like yellow circles for the eyes now, which... I mean, it's not like a deal breaker, but it's like... It looks weird.
They're lifeless looking compared to some of the other Star Wars things.
Yeah, they look lifeless compared to the older ones.
Previous versions have more detail, and that's not a good sign. So I agree with this fact too.
And then I don't know if most people have seen it, but there's a leaked picture of the Salacious Crumb that comes in the sail barge. It looks terrible because he's just got yellow eyes.
He doesn't have the pupils. He can't see where he's looking.
It looks like a huge downgrade compared to the 2012 one.
So it looks like his eyes have rolled into the back of his
head. It just looks like possessed or something. It's really terrible. So
it's frustrating.
It is, and it's like you're paying top dollar and getting bottom dollar quality.
Now, if we had upgraded from the original Star Wars figures with the molded head, like the original Jar Jar figure, for example,
right?
He had no printing. Okay, great.
But it was acceptable.
And if we got a yellow dot on there, okay, it's an upgrade. Yeah. But we've gone fully detailed pupils printed on there before, and now if they were to do one without the pupils, that's a downgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we noticed.
Yeah. What do you think, Alex? Do you think it's a downgrade?
I'm on the other side. I actually like this. I like that they're trying something new.
Okay.
In this way. Mm-hmm. Mostly it's been for like the alien species of Star Wars figures.
Or glowing eyes.
Looks good. Yeah. But I got the new Ahsoka Tano, Duel Peridea. I got the Ezra, and because of it, the printing wasn't as like dark or wasn't as like noticeable, so it actually looked pretty good. And so I think it's pretty cool. I like that they're changing it up a little bit.
Okay.
But
it's more like a stylized opinion. I feel like it's not awful, but it just looks a little strange.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, so it does bother me. It's maybe not like infuriating, but it's a little annoying. But I can see why people would like it because it's different and new. So,
like, it wouldn't keep me from buying a set, but it's just like it's a little strange.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, you've toned us down, Alex. I appreciate that.
I think it's good, like, to be able to talk about it, especially within the Lego Star Wars community. Like that, we should be able to talk about it. Not like, we're
not going to bash you, Alex.
Like,
we're not going to throw you out yet. Yeah,
it's going to be in common.
That's true.
Okay, I see. Where you're coming from. That's what I think. So.
Yes, and if you're commenting, please let us know if you disagree with us. You're welcome to say whatever you like, but just please try to be respectful. Follow the YouTube community guidelines and all that. So don't be too mean. Don't threaten us. Okay. Fun fact. There's no shirtless Anakin figure.
Yeah.
And that's bothering me. I mean, I think this is a really missed opportunity.
I mean, he was in the whole movie for like 3 seconds. Oh, yeah. That's a critical part of that movie.
Exactly. No, this is actually brought up to us by one of our employees, Ella. She said this is the most bothersome thing about Star Wars.
That is hilarious.
So there's a whole market they're missing out. A fun little side angst.
Luckily, I feel like it'd be pretty easy to make. You just grab like a Lego Batman with the swimsuit,
Yeah. I mean, you can mock it easy enough, but how easy would it be to make a little, like a set, like Anakin's
just
room?
Make his little bed, put him on there. Every woman would probably buy that set.
You could probably have the assassin worms coming through the window, right? Too. I mean, I'd buy that set. I think it'd be pretty cool.
We need to have you watch the prequels again.
Well, no, they went after Padme, and no, that's a different scene. I'm done with that. It looks similar. But no, shirtless Anakin's one, but that's a fake one. My real one is Old Republic.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
And I think this is kind of basically because Disney, Star Wars, Lego, they are all working together to make sets that they think are going to be popular and good. Yeah. Most of them are. And this is something that Disney and Star Wars and Lucasfilm have really just shelved. They haven't even thought about Old Republic. They're talking about doing movies and stuff, but they really haven't put anything actually traction down yet. And I think that's why we haven't seen anything from it. But this is something I think that a lot of fans would really gravitate to if it was produced or embraced or anything was done with this kind of side story of Star Wars. I think this would be more interesting than like The Acolyte or even some of the other Star Wars shows that have come out. I think this would be a bigger hit with a lot of fans, but I don't know, for whatever reason they got Keanu Reeves probably willing to do it. I mean,
that would be awesome.
If he was Revan,
imagine a super detailed Darth Revan figure in a really nice set.
Comes off and it's Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, a little hairpiece.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. I'm buying that. He's a purple lightsaber. How cool is that? So Old Republic, massive missed opportunity. Makes me grumpy. Makes me want to pound the table. Alex, how do you feel about the lack of Old Republic? We have seen a few sets in the past when they did the game and stuff.
Yeah,
but
that's why they came out.
They haven't really touched it since then. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's why they came out originally, was with the video games. They were very popular. Continue to be, revered to this day.
People still play that game,
and there's, still a big following. I mean, the story itself, then, I think it's the most untapped potential for Star Wars. I think it could be the future of Star Wars if they went back, because you could make it completely, you could use a lot of that, but make it a trilogy. It would be its own thing. But you've got the Jedi and the Sith, both powerful, fighting against each other. You even have, like, Mandalorian Jedi Wars. And in the games, like, if you watch just some of the trailers and stuff, it looks like really cool. A movie trailer. It's so good.
Cinematic
and the
stuff.
Characters, too. And the lore and everything with it is just fantastic. So we need more of that.
The Old Republic figures that they did make are several $100s now.
Yeah.
Revan and Malgus are like $3 to $4 each.
Yeah. So
it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just that the price having increased that much, more than $100, is a huge demand.
Yeah.
So...
Now, I will say this. I want to get all the 25th anniversary ones. And when I got the R2-D2, I noticed they had a Darth Malak in there, who is a really cool Old Republic character. So I think they're just dipping their toes.
Yeah, it's on their radar. They know about it.
They know about it. They acknowledged it. And I think the what's it called? Darth Malak figure looked great.
Oh, yeah.
He had a nice cape, a cool jaw piece, I think he was awesome.
Yeah, I haven't really heard anything bad about that figure out there, to be honest.
I think he was a big selling point for that.
Maybe the color.
Because he looks pretty cool.
Yeah, some people were like, it could have been dark red, but I mean, Sith red is Sith red, you know? Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So, I think Old Republic is a big missed opportunity between Disney and Lego right now.
Yeah. That's my last major fact that really just is causing me to have a bad day today. But do you guys have anything else on your list that is worth bringing up, worth griping about before we wrap this up, or is that about it? So.
I have one more thing.
You have one more thing, Ethan? I'm ready for it.
I think...
go ahead.
It's disappointing that they keep remaking the same spaceships over and over and over and over and over again. Because we've gotten how many AT-ATs, Millennium Falcons and X-Wings and TIE Fighters.
X-Wings, I see a lot of,
So it's every year they make a new one. And it's like, when's the last time we got a Jango Fett Slave 1? 22 years ago. There's so many. The last Play Scale Venator was so long ago as well.
Yeah, early 2000s. 20 years ago. So
the last regular Republic gunship was over, I think it was like 11 years ago.
Yeah, 2013. Yeah.
So when you look at that and then look at getting a Millennium Falcon every single year, it's like, dude,
just
like
1 year.
Other spaceships too.
Swap it out for 1 year.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty disappointing. It definitely takes the variety away from certain sets.
Yeah. It also, you don't want the X-Wing or the TIE Fighter or the Millennium Falcon to be expensive, so you want it to be produced pretty often so that new fans can access it. But at the same time, we are leaving a lot of other pretty essential stuff
in the dust.
The dust. Like the last, more modern version of the gunship, for example. What is it, $1,000? Yeah, for a silver.
Yeah. It's like $800.
So the one with the normal classic color scheme, not the Coruscant Guard gunship, which we got, which is, they tried.
Right.
But so the fact that that's $1,000 and they can't make one for
not to mention the Jango Slave one's like over $1,000.
Yeah. Change the color scheme. It'd be a cool ship.
Yeah.
It's a great scene in the movie.
Made a Clone Wars MTT. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a lot of missed opportunity with certain sets that they just keep remaking the same old ones.
Yeah, it's just a copy and paste button at Lego and
like
Star Wars.
Some of the micro series sets are cool. Like I do like that Millennium Falcon, but I think they've just made enough now where it's like we don't need any for several years. Yeah,
you could take a break for at least a year or two and do some other things with your production.
It doesn't have to be back to back.
Yeah. You agree, Alex? You on that?
Oh yeah, there should always be something like that every like. It shouldn't be back to back, but it should be like maybe a year or two break in between. At least like on the aftermarket, it won't go up too much. And there's just so many now that set will forever be cheap.
They'll be affordable for as long as there's online sales. Yeah. So, Alex, did you have a final factoid to really bring our day down?
Well, it's more maybe it'll make your day better.
Oh,
especially you, Mark.
Okay.
Jar Jar, like Jedi Bob. I think this is kind of especially this summer, we're seeing all this come together. I think Lego Star Wars, I do want to thank them I think they are hearing fans better.
Yes.
I think they failed in some ways, but I think they really learned from that and are hearing us. I know it takes some time.
Trying new things.
And so I think we're seeing that this summer, even Disney and Star Wars and Lego kind of coming together on this with the Rebuild the Galaxy.
Yes.
And we're getting Jedi Bob back. I mean, they made him in the classic yellow, too.
Yeah.
As if he's like a little beat-up figure. He's got some, the
printing
where he looks older.
Yeah,
exactly. With a frown, too.
Yeah. And then Jar Jar is now canon because of this. Ahmad Best is going to do his voice for it and everything. I'm so excited. Cool. That Jar Jar is a Lego figure, but also, canon now.
I need to get that figure.
It's amazing that how they've heard fans. Jedi Bob was some fan somewhere made that name, and it became a thing, and they put it. I think it was in 2011. I don't know, somewhere.
It's like a book.
In one of the Lego Star Wars books, they put Jedi Bob in there too, and it stuck. And so I think, it's nice to see the community being heard. I think that's a win and kind of a positive thing in all these things where we offer our constructive criticism and rants on these things. But they are hearing us and doing things about it, and we're getting some amazing stuff that I never dreamed of getting another Jedi Bob or Jar Jar in Lego.
Or Darth Ray or White Vader, all those other characters.
All these things with that. So it's fantastic. It's something to celebrate.
Yeah. This is we've got a lot of gripes. We've shared most of them, and there's still gonna have a bad day after this because of this. But you're right, Alex. There's a lot to be hopeful for. It's like Star Wars. It's like, oh, what do we have? Hope, something, some sort of quote. It's just somebody finish it in the comments for me. But no, there are some great twists on classic Lego Star Wars themes with Darth Jar Jar and all that. So looking forward to what they're able to do now that they can kind of create their own kind of. They're not non-canon, but they're definitely off the beaten path of normal Star Wars stories. So excited to see what Lego Star Wars has in store for us there. So yeah. Well, thank you both for your extreme negative energy and getting it all out. We weren't as rageful as I was expecting, and that's okay. We were just kind of chill and just like we were just deeply hurt. It's okay. We got it all out. Therapy session over. Let us know in the comments what you think. If our critiques and problems that we have with Lego Star Wars are valid, or if you disagree with some of them, let us know. Try to be polite. Don't completely roast us. But yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.